Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. So in today's video, we're going to be talking about all of the reasons why Etheria Restart is going to succeed. I'm extremely excited about this game. I can't wait for the final test beta that comes out in May 8th. All right, so in 2 weeks, 2 or 3 weeks here, it's going to be a 12-day beta test. It's going to be open to anyone. You can pay as you want. It will be a data wipe, so you will lose that, but you will get back what you pay in rebates. We'll talk about that, at a later time in a separate video, because I've got tons of time to make some content for you in preparation for the closed beta test. But yeah, today I just want to talk about why this game's going to succeed. And let's just talk about the thing that matters the most to a lot of people. And that's there's going to be a lot of things to do at release, which is great. A lot of times nowadays, you'll see a lot of these developers, which it's hard to understand, because you don't know if they actually care about the game or not, because it looks really cool on the surface. The trailer looks good. You'll see some gameplay online, but what ends up happening is you kind of start going down this path and you realize that the game is kind of just a shell. It's a shell of things to do. It's very repetitive without any real mention of future content being released. Now, this game is going to be extremely content rich in regards to PvE at release, which is important for a lot of people. On top of that, and we'll talk about this in a bit, on top of that, they already have real-time arena in this game. It's already there. It's not something that, people will want to have added later on. It's just there. This is also very important for whales. I know a lot of people really dislike whales, but whales are super important to the game. They keep the money flowing. It allows people to advertise, to get more people interested in the game, so then they can continue to develop content. It's the cycle that we all need, guys. I hate whales as much as you want, but yeah, you kind of need them. Okay, so in regards to content richness, if you just look at the current game modes, okay, the first one, they have, dungeons to farm different weapons. Weapons are farmable in this game. You don't pull for them, which is great. I think that's a great, quality of life thing. It takes away from some of the, pay to win aspect of the game. I don't know if this game is going to be super pay to win, or if it's going to be very free-to-play friendly. I'm one of those people that likes to spend a little bit in the games to, further my progression so I can make content for people. I also like supporting games like this, especially if they do a good job. So being able to farm weapons in this game, I think, is really, really cool. The weapons themselves have a lot of depth. And we'll talk about that in a separate video, because I do want to go into detail about specific things, but just going through all of the content richness that they have so far. So you can farm your weapons. In Threshold, this is where you're going to be able to farm your gear. They call them modules in here. There's a bunch of different sets. So each of them have like unique kind of abilities. You'll see this, in all of these games within the same genre, which is why we like these types of games. It's the amount of modifications and different teams that you can put together with different gear sets that make games like this really cool. The thing is the amount of gear pieces that you can put on is pretty nuts, right? It's pretty cool. The amount of pieces that you can put on, like you'll see here, like this one, you only get the boost of the gear set if 6 of 6 pieces are on. Then some you get half of the boost if it's 4 of 8, and then you can also do 8 of 8. Some you have the ability to even go up to 12 pieces of the same type. So there's a lot of different variations that you're going to be able to do when it comes to just gearing your individual characters. So investigation, this is, wave-based content. This is how you kind of get XP items to level up your characters. a lot of this stuff I think is going to be, auto. You're just going to clear it. You're going to have your auto teams to speed through stuff to level up your characters. It's just part of the game. A lot of these things transfer from game to game. A lot of this stuff isn't going to be new for most, but some of it will. So the GP outpost, this is how you get the ability to level up your skills. Depending on which element that the character is in, like fire, water, earth, and then they also have light and dark characters in this game, you'll be able to farm the individual areas to level up the skills of your characters, which is going to be really important. They also have this Echoes game mode, which is going to be a challenge type of game mode. It's one-time clear kind of stuff. I'm sure this is what will be added onto additional content. They'll have additional challenge modes released. It'll probably be decent-sized updates, I would think, as I'm guessing a lot of this stuff is going to be story-rich as well. But you're going to be able to get really unique one-of-a-kind items in here, I believe, the further down the road you go on this. So game modes like this, I think, are also fun, kind of striving to, and you have something to kind of work towards whenever everything else is kind of on auto. So Phantom Theater is one of the things that I'm actually really, really looking forward to. It's a co-op PvE mode. I think co-op PvE tends to be vastly overlooked with gacha games like this. One of the main reasons why games like this last is because you have the community. If you don't have a lot of things to do where you can interact with the community and build friendships through these games, it really takes away from the game itself. You don't want to just be playing a single player game without, any of your friends to do stuff with. So a lot of times that comes with guilds, guild bosses, things of that nature. However, this is a weekly thing where you can pair up with your friends, or you can also pair up with someone random, which I think is very cool. I've never seen a game mode like this. On the surface, it looks really fun. You have a couple different game modes here: basic, hard, and nightmare. But you pair up with one other person. You take down one of the bosses, your friend has to take down the other, and then you together will fight the third boss. I think that is such a cool concept. I'm really looking forward to that. They also have a tower mode. I think that is something that goes without saying in these games. You need a tower mode. It's, again, one of those things just to do monthly, get really good rewards, have new challenges. That's also something that I think is very simple for developers to continue to build on. They can have rotations. It's an easy win for developers, but I am glad to see it here in the base game whenever it will launch, which is planned for June. But I think in the meantime, whenever you guys are doing the final beta test for those 12 days, you really want to grasp all the different things, so whenever it comes to the global launch, you can just hit the ground running. And that's what we'll plan to do here with the channel, is hopefully get you revved up for that prior to the beta on May 8th, and then after the beta is over, we'll have a bunch of other content talking about this, and we can just go from there. And then the last thing that I see on here is kind of like a roguelike mode. It's one of those areas where you start at a specific tile and you can choose left or right or straight, fight different enemies, and then you get some kind of bonus. And then your team continues to grow and get stronger until you reach the end. Sometimes game modes like this can be quite fun, and then other times they can be boring. So I'm really interested to see how this goes. When I joined the first closed beta test in January, I didn't take it serious enough, so I wasn't, really grasping all of the things, and I really regret that. I wish I would have played it as much as I could have to have actual video content for you, but sadly, this is what I'm stuck to. But this resets every 2 weeks, so you'll have a lot of opportunities to kind of go through there and take it at your own pace, and get some nice rewards every 2 times a month. So that's awesome. So yeah, that's the first thing. Very, very content rich, okay, for PvE. The second thing, they have a lot of characters, which is very important. On top of that, I think something that this game, well, these types of games really suffer from is when they don't have light and dark characters. This game does, thankfully. This is something that I think a lot of people kind of look down on, considering the fact that light and dark characters or void characters or whatever in game modes, they tend to be the best, right? They're harder to get. But at the same time, I think it incentivizes whales to spend. That's the thing. Now, this might be a problem if you're super into PvP and you want to do real-time arena and you want to be at the top. Whenever you play games like this, you have to spend tons of money anyway, or you have to be smart and really just go after specific characters. But the fact that this game does have light and dark characters, I'm quite excited about that. I'm coming from King Arthur Legends Rise, and sadly, on that game, they did not have light and dark characters, so it was really easy to get all the characters, and then there was no reason to pull for any other characters. It was kind of interesting because it was very free to play, but the problem was they didn't develop enough content, and then in the end, there was no reason to spend money or pull characters because everything was achievable already, and nothing was hard to get. Yeah, it's a big thing. So a good chunk of characters. Now, I don't know if this game is going to fall in the same trap as a lot of other games, which is once the game's released, all they end up doing is releasing the highest rarity of characters. Now, this game has the 3 baseline characters that we're used to, a rare, an epic, and then a legendary. I really, truly hope that they do not just release legendary characters. We want the mix of rare characters. We want the mix of epics. Right now, they're super light on rares. I think this is very, very easy for them to release 4 rares in update. Sometimes I don't understand, and that's because I am a layman, right? It's one of those things where I have not created my own game, so I think it's quite hypocritical of me to have views like this, but I'm going to have them anyway. And if you have epic characters and legendary characters already in the game, it is so easy to just peel back legendary characters, remove a certain aspect of their skill, and then call it a rare. I don't know why that is so hard for developers to do. You simply take a legendary character and you boil it down into 2 individual rares. You just cut up the legendary in half, and then you get 2 rares. So if they have all of these legendaries, if you do it by my math, that's a lot of rares. But they need to release plenty of rares for other people to do things along with epics and not just your legendaries, right? So a good baseline of characters right off the bat. So there's going to be a lot of mixing and matching. Now, the thing that I'm actually most excited about, and I don't have any gameplay video for you, but this game does 5v5. This is so unique that I literally have not seen this anywhere. I'm pretty sure every single game in this genre, and I haven't played a Honkai Star Rail, so I don't know if it's that way there. But when you have 5 characters, the amount of options that you have to tackle a dungeon or a boss or a game mode, I think, the variables are just, they feel unlimited. And if the game releases enough characters, they can do plenty of really fun things with rares only, epics only, different tower modes with all of those specific requirements, because you'd have so many different types of ways to mix and match. So doing a 5 character lineup instead of 4 is really interesting. I'm super excited about it, and I can't really I can't wait for this game to release to see all of the different types of options. And then lastly, I've already touched on it a little bit, but they do have the arena modes already, and this is huge. I think you need a constant thing for endgame players to do. If you have something where you have a new character and you're always testing out that character, switching up draft modes, all of that stuff, I think it's super key for the longevity of a game. I can't stress that enough. I understand a lot of people don't like that game mode because that's where the whales hang and it's hard to compete. I get it. I think it's up to the developers to really separate those groups. You have different leagues or whatever where, the top of the top hang out. Maybe it's your account power or whatever. But those game modes are important. They really are something for the end game players to really focus on, especially after they've spent all of their money and they can clear all of the PvE content and they have nothing else to do. So if you have the RTA game modes, I think it just is a huge step forward for them having that already. Okay, so guys, this is just conversation discussion video. Why I'm so excited about this game. The closer we get to the release of this, I'm going to be going through individual characters. I'm going to be talking about their kits, the things that you're going to want to look out for at the start of the game. So anyway, I'm just making some content because I'm hyped about the game. I want people to have some conversations, see if you're excited about it too. That's all I got though. I appreciate you watching, and I'll catch you on the next one. See ya.